I want to tell you about a God opportunity that sort of just fell into our lap, and I'm very excited about. Some of you have heard of an organization called Every Home for Christ. Their primary ministry is through distributing gospel literature. You'd be surprised how many people in 2020 don't know the simple story of Jesus and his grace for us and his promise of salvation. And so they produce simple gospel teaching pamphlets and essentially just blitz communities, ensuring that every home, right, every home for Christ, gets this message of hope into their hands. Now, they are not naive, and neither are we. A lot of these pamphlets are going to end up in the garbage. People who are not yet open to the gospel. When you cast a wide net, you accept that this is not going to resonate with everyone. But for those who it does, well, I can tell you that every town they go into, there are stories of God using this method of changing lives and people and families making first-time commitments to follow Jesus. Well, during this time, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of isolation, and a lot of people are asking questions that they don't typically wrestle with, like, what does this all mean? And there's got to be more to life than this. And is there hope when it seems like the world is blowing up? And so we want to reach as many people as possible, particularly in this season where there's just a lot of fear and uncertainty and hopelessness. And we want to tell them that God loves them and has a good plan for their life. So Every Home for Christ wants to partner with a local church so that people, can have a next step, a Bible-believing, healthy church that might do some of the ministry follow-up. And we, Newmarket Alliance Church, are going to be that church. So along with some gospel literature, every home in Newmarket, about 14,000 homes, are going to get a postcard from NAC that looks like this. Nothing pressury, but just a simple message of hope, and that there are people ready and wanting to pray with you. And hopefully people will take us up on it. And I trust that there will be many of you who will step up and minister in this way, in this follow-up way. So I'm excited. This doesn't replace us being the church, living missionally and evangelistically and being good neighbors and seeking justice and compassion in our community. But it may just work nicely in tandem with those other things. So, would you pray that this simple mail out would bear much fruit, that people would know there is hope, there is salvation, and maybe even we as a church would get the privilege of helping people along their spiritual journey towards Christ. So if you live in the Newmarket area, expect that in your mailbox in the next 7 days or so.